Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Me First Morning, especially on this awesome, fun Friday. I am so happy to be here. I'm your host, Patricia Rivera Wolfson, and I'm an intuitive coach and an energy healer, a wife and a mom of 3 boys, and it is my mission to teach you how to calibrate your energy, how to integrate self-care into easy, doable steps, and how to embrace your own natural gifts to achieve a life you love. Yes, it is possible. Even though there may be some challenges, some obstacles, a few headaches along the way. For those of you who I missed yesterday, I apologize for the show being canceled yesterday, but I did have a terrible migraine. And it is no longer in migraine status today. It is now just in headache status, so I can function on medication. So I'm waiting for my Advil to kick in. It's one of those mornings again. Guys, like, tell me, did you have one of those mornings? I don't know if it's like, Uranus is out of retrograde. There's, stuff going on. I mean, there was a full moon. Now it's not full anymore. It is, getting less full. We're getting into the new moon. I don't know. I don't know what it all means. All I know is that my head is still kind of pounding, and nobody wanted to go to school today. And I have to share with you, I called the school today, and I don't normally give details about stuff like this, but this is just too funny not to share. I called the school because one of my kids was going to be late, and they asked me, what is the reason for lateness? And my response was, life. Life, is that an answer? It should be an answer. There should be like a little checkbox that's like 2022, check. That's why. I'm like, anything to do with 2020 onward up until this point is a reason to not show up. I mean, I'm sure you guys feel the same way in your own lives. It's challenging to just show up. But as I teach my kids, and as I will continue to preach on here during my Me First Morning sermons, it's that you still got to do it, right? Like, what do you want out of life? What are you looking for in your life? And how can you bring it, right? How can you bring it? You have to show up for yourself. Other people are not going to show up for you necessarily. They might, like it might happen. You have people showing up I have lots of friends. I have nothing to complain about. I have a wonderful support system. I have friends who are there for me. I have family that's there for me, and I'm very, very fortunate. Not everybody has that type of situation. Not everybody has that circle of support. But regardless of whether or not you have a circle of support, you have a responsibility to show up for yourself, to do for yourself, to be for yourself. What do you want to be? And calibrating your energy and tuning your energy so that you are emitting what you want, right? So that you are broadcasting your channel, right? Your channel of love and light, your channel of whatever. Like, you're always broadcasting. So however you are being is the message that you are putting out there. So you need to ask yourself, what message am I putting out there? Especially if you don't like kind of what's coming back to you, right? If you don't like the situations that are happening in your life. And let me tell you, they're not all punishment, right? There is no punishment. This is not a universe of punishment. It is a society of punishment, okay? But it is not a universe of punishment. It is a universe of abundance, right? And that includes an abundance of anxiety, right? It's an abundance of whatever you put your focus on. So whatever you are focusing on, you will receive in abundance. So what are you focusing on in your life? Are you focusing on the success that you are having, even if it is a minuscule, nothing bit of success? Or are you focusing on the failure that you have experienced in your life? In which case it multiplies and magnifies the failure you've experienced, right? Especially if you focus on the failure, right? What are you focusing on? That is what the universe will multiply in abundance, is your focus, is your attention, right? It's almost like a little kid, right? You have a kid who is acting up. They're looking for attention. Now, I'm not saying manipulating, because I'm definitely in the school of conscious parenting, but there is a message there, and the child is looking for something. They need something from you, right? And so even if you give them quote unquote negative attention, which is like, stop that, don't do that, what are you doing, right? It's still connection that they're looking for. So they will continue to act out in the way that gives them the most connection. So if you are giving your child, only attention when they're doing something bad, guess what? They're going to continually do bad things because what they want is connection. And the same thing with the universe, right? If the only time you sit down and sit in peace and ask for support is when you are hurting, is when you are in trouble, and that is the only time you're connecting with the universe, then you are going to find yourself in situations where you are constantly needing to connect. Now, I'm not saying that the universe is sitting there trying to get your attention, but what I'm saying is that the relationship that you have with the universe is one of abundance. And the only way that you can communicate is with your attention. What you are paying attention to, what you are focusing on is the only way you have of letting the universe know to, our knowledge, unless you are communicating in other ways. But just like the way we are hardwired is that what we are paying attention to, what we are focusing on is the vibration that we are creating around us. And that is the language of the universe, right? Is that vibration. And so if you are not liking the vibration that you exist in, then you need to shift that and change that and ask yourself, how can I move through this? And you can ask for help. Your support team, your spirit guides, God, everyone on the other side of the veil, right? Everyone that's connected to us through the dimensions, right? Through the multiverse, our ancestors, our spirit guides, right? They're there helping us. They're looking at us going, come on, you can do it. You can do it. It's just that we can't always hear them. We may feel them sometimes, but we can't always hear them. And so that is what part of Me First Mornings is about. It's about connecting with ourselves, connecting with that inner guidance, connecting with that knowing that connects you to everyone else and everything else on the planet, in the world, in this universe, and beyond. Okay, good morning. Good morning, Eleanor. Thank you for being here. I am a little bit better, enough that I could be here. Good morning, Dad. Bon dia, Clara. Good morning. Well, for you, it's not morning, but I'm glad you're here. Okay, so I'm going to take another sip of coffee. We're going to do our little morning ritual, and then I'm going to read some cards. So if you are here to get your cards read, then just say me, please, or pull a card for me, something like that. Eleanor, I know you want a card, so I'll definitely pull one for you. And anyone else who wants, let me know. I need that coffee because I think the caffeine's going to help my head. Okay, so let's light that candle. There we go. And for those of you who have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, please go to Jumpstart for Change right now, right this instant, and go press subscribe on that channel, right? Press the button, subscribe, and ding the bell, ding the notification bell, because this way you know when I'm here. And in case you need more of an indication or you need a reminder, I'm here every Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Of course, headaches aside. All right, looking for some essential oils that are going to work for my head. Hopefully it won't make this worse. Ooh, I don't know. Smells are tough when my head is hurting, but I'm still going to use it. And I'll pay for it later. That's a good philosophy, right? We'll figure it out later. Believe me, that's how I've lived most of my life. And sometimes it works out really nicely, and other times not so much, but that's life, right? All right. So let's take our 3 deep breaths. We're going to go through this quickly because time is moving on, and you guys know I like to talk, okay? So we're going to take 3 deep breaths. Don't forget to open up the top of your head and imagine that beautiful, healing shower of sunlight just poured into your head. Have your feet well planted on the ground and imagine that nourishing life force energy is coming, bursting through the ground, through your feet, and just coming up through your body. And both of those energies are going to blend powerfully and just break apart any stuck, stagnant, or dense energy. We're going to imagine ourselves just opening up and increasing our capacity to receive all of the love and light and life force energy and abundance that the universe has to offer us. Let us just feel that now. We're going to do that 3 times and really feel the power of love and light on the planet. Okay, let's do that now. Deep breath in and hold and release. Okay, again. Hold and release. Okay, and the third time and last time, let's make it count. And release. Okay, now we do a little stretching. Oh my goodness, guys, could I totally use the stretching today? The pain in my neck is killing me. All right. Hi, Mom. I see you're here. I think that's what you wanted to say. Okay. So you just want to stretch as much as you can to release any of that stiffness or stuckness. You want to keep things moving. You want to keep things flowing, right? You are a channel of light and love. So let us make sure that that channel is clear, that the messages can come through loud and clear so that you can feel connected to the love and light that exists everywhere on the planet just for you. It's not just for you, it's for all of us, but it's just for you too, right? So if it's for all of us, it means it's just for you too. Okay. All right. So now we've done our stretching. Shake it out. I cannot have my bracelets to make the fun noise because I barely made it here. As you guys know, I was a little late today. Okay. All right. Sorry. Let's take a minute. My head is hurting. Drinking a little coffee. And let me tell you something. When I pull cards, Spirit speaks through me, and hopefully we'll take my headache with it. That would be awesome. All right, Eleanor, you're first. I'm going to be pulling a card for you and anyone else who would like. Guys, this is like the lessons that we're learning here in life. Set yourself up to succeed. Life is challenging, can be challenging, okay? And any challenges that you're going through, and I'm going to say the same things over and over and over again. And it's really interesting because I used to like have an issue with myself sort of repeating things. And so I always felt like I had to say new things, different things over and over. And I realized that I myself will listen to, the same thing, the same message by different people. Eleanor, I receive your relief. Thank you so much. I will listen to the same message over and over again from different people, from different channels, from different voices, from different perspectives, but the message being the same, right, is that we are all connected. And most importantly, I feel so strongly in the core of my being that any obstacles that we face is really just sort of like a simulation, a training ground for us to increase our capacity to love, right? And increase our capacity of compassion and increase our capacity for kindness. Right? When we go through struggles, we start to see that not everything is exactly as it seems, right? And just because you live your life in one way, it does not guarantee the results of that life that you have built. And so if you are building a life that's full of fear, or you are making choices based on fear, where I'm going to choose this because I don't want that to happen to my life, I'm going to choose this because I'm afraid of this happening. Now that plays a part into everything, right? Like we all go to work because, we don't want to go broke and not pay our mortgage and like live on the street, right? So there's like legitimate, real life fears that enter into our minds. But when you're making really big decisions, it's important to make those decisions from love. And the reason I say that is because when you make your decision from fear, and then later in life you are faced with circumstances that just sort of come and happen to you, if you lived your whole life trying to avoid said circumstances, you're going to drive yourself crazy and be really, really angry with the world that you have suffered this ironic fate. Okay. And I'm saying this because it's on my heart, and it's also something that's come up for a lot of people that I know, where it's like, I worked my whole life to avoid this, and now this is exactly what I'm dealing with, right? And that's hard because it's hard for you to not get distracted by the negativity that may roam or by the heavy energy that may exist when that happens. Because you might think, well, like, what's the freaking point? Like, I did everything right. I checked all the boxes. I crossed all my T's. I dotted all my I's. What's the freaking point if I'm still faced with this experience in my life, or this trauma, or, like, I'm still, whatever your situation is, I'm still broke. I'm still alone. I'm still feeling unloved. I feel unappreciated, and I did everything that I thought I was supposed to. That's not really the point. You're not supposed to be here to do everything you're supposed to. That's not the point of life. The point of life is art. The point of life is creativity. It's experiment. It's like, what's it going to feel like if I do this? What's it going to feel like if I do that? And if you like it, you keep doing it. And if you don't like it, stop doing it. I know that sounds simple, but so many people don't do that. Right? They're like, I'm going to try this thing that really bothers me over and over again because I think I should be happy here. No. If you're not happy, just move on. Pick something else, and that's not, if you're struggling, pick something else. If you're struggling, you have to ask yourself, what part of this struggle is helping me to evolve? What part of this struggle, what is this struggle teaching me? Do you have to set a boundary? Do you have to, change how you're living your life for yourself? You have to ask yourself those questions. Am I living my life, or am I living this idea of what I thought my life is supposed to be? And now is the time to destroy all illusions. So any crappy bullshit idea that you've given to yourself about what life is supposed to look like, all that's going to get teared down right now, whether you like it or not. Whether you like it or not, the universe is like, it's time to break down the illusions. So if you're living your life for anyone but you, and I don't mean in a selfish way. I mean, like, really, like, living your purpose and feeling connected and doing what you're passionate about. If you're not doing that, well, you better start. You need to start, because what is the point otherwise? Okay, I'm totally distracted. Sorry, I'm on a rant today, people. I'm on a rant. It's the headache. All right, that's what my migraine is telling me. My migraine's like, do it. Okay, Eleanor, here you go. Okay, so this is right in line with what we're talking about. Okay, so the card that we pulled was Storm Fields, right? And this is number 9. Okay, so if that number is important to you, and there's a tornado, it's kind of like a Kansas, what's that movie? Wizard of Oz kind of scenario, Storm Fields. And it did come upside down. So what that tells me is that you might be avoiding, you might be avoiding some turbulence in your life, or trying to, like, you feel something coming or something's shifting, and maybe you're doing something to try to control the situation so that it doesn't turn into a storm, right? So it doesn't turn into something that you can't handle, right? That's what you're worried about. But let me tell you something. You can handle anything that comes your way. And very often the storms that appear in our life are there to clear the path, right? It's like, sure, it's turbulent, it's scary, things break, things get destroyed, right? And all of a sudden you're in the midst of this debris and you're like, oh my God, this is not what I had planned right now for my life. But in the cleanup of that storm, you are going to see what pieces are really, truly important to you. Things get prioritized really quickly when you're facing a storm, when you're facing real challenge. And I'm not saying you are facing a real challenge right now. What I'm saying is that you might be doing things that are potentially, you're taking action that's in that fear. So it's almost like what we were talking about earlier, taking action out of fear to avoid maybe the storm, right? But if the storm's coming, the storm's coming. It's just like any weather pattern. You can't stop the storm from coming if it's meant to come. And so releasing your control over the situation is the greatest gift that you can give to yourself right now, is releasing the idea that you have any control over the storm, because you don't, but more so like getting your sort of ducks in a row if a storm was to happen. So if we're looking at a real storm, right? What happens? All the shelves in the grocery stores get emptied, right? People start buying bread, they buy milk, they buy ice, they buy rice, they buy whatever, right? But and that's what you can do, right? You're like, okay, listen, I can't control what's coming or what potentially might be coming my way, but here's what I can do. I can prepare myself for whatever might come. I can definitely, make sure that I have my ducks in a row. Everything is the way I feel I need it to be in order to be prepared for whatever comes. And so that is your mission. Your mission is to prepare for whatever, right? Like what's that? You prepare for the worst, but you hope for the best. So you get yourself prepared in whatever way you need to for your life, but then you keep going and you keep following that voice inside you that has been telling you this whole time exactly what to do, exactly where to go, exactly who to call, exactly when to show up, right? And allow yourself to receive that guidance and know that you are deserving of that guidance and know that you are deserving of all of the love and abundance that the universe has to offer. And just because a storm may come your way, it is not permanent. There is nothing permanent about a storm. A storm comes and just and then boom, it goes and leaves all the mess left to be cleaned up. But in that mess are the treasures you want to keep. And then also is the permission to throw out anything that doesn't serve you. When we had our flood in our basement, so many things we were like lost in the flood. Like that was the way we cleaned the stuff. We were just like, it's lost in the flood. As far as we're concerned, it's gone. And it was so easy to let go of things using that as the excuse, right? It was like, okay, it was lost in the flood. What if it had gotten wet? Toss it, toss it, toss it. So release anything that doesn't serve you, get prepared for whatever is coming. And like I said, doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It just means that you might be experiencing some turbulence in your life, or you may be worried about experiencing turbulence. Just release the fear, let go and let God, as they say, right? Just give it to God and say, hey, that's not my department. That's your department. I'll take care of what I know I can take care of, right? And that's whatever you're doing here on earth. You just do what you need to do. You get up, you show up, you do what you need to do each day, and let God take care of the rest. Okay, I'm glad you like that. I love you so much, Eleanor. Thank you for being here. Okay, here we go. So, yes, Claudia wants a card. My mom wants a card. And I need a Jadi. Hi, you are writing to my mother and to Claudia. Angels, I'm a God-gifted psychic advisor and love specialist. I'm picking up a lot of energy from your pictures. I see someone wants to do a card reading during my card reading. How appropriate. So, yes. Okay. Iomid, if you would like me to pull a card for you, I'm happy to do that too. Okay, here we go. So, Claudia and my mom. All right, Claudia, you're next. Mom, you'll be after that. Okay. Let's see. Okay, Claudia, what are the cards saying for you today? I don't know. I've got a lot going on today in my head. I can tell you that for sure. Oh my God, guys, I forgot to say my prayer. I forgot to say my prayer as I'm pulling these cards. Okay. Well, let's say the prayer together, and then Claudia, I'll pull your card, because that's super important. Because that's us asking for the angels to guard our intentions for the day. So let's just, Claudia, we're going to interrupt your card reading for a moment and say the prayer together. So if you have your GPS word, please go ahead and use it. For those of you who do not have your GPS word yet, that's okay too. You can just come up with whatever the intention of the day is, whatever you want to accomplish today. Okay, here we go. Divine Mother, Infinite Father, Creator, Ascended Masters, Archangels, Spirit Guides, and all beings of 100% pure white light, allow me to be a clear and open channel of your light and love without hesitation or ego. May the highest vibration of love and light connect with my higher self and release any and all things that no longer serve me. I ask that Saint Germain and his infinitely powerful violet flame burn away all the things that no longer serve myself or humanity and hold us back from our divine existence. Help us to embody our intentions for the day and help us raise the collective vibration for the highest and greatest good of all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So be it, and so it is. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I'm telling you, it's my head. All right. Here we go. So, Claudia, this is for you. Now that I've set the intention with the cards, I'm going to shuffle them just a couple more. Oh, no, looks like a card wanted to speak. Look at this, Claudia, number 25. Okay, to be 25 again, right? Metamorphosis. But I think this is important because I really truly believe that we are all like in the midst of a 20-year cycle. And I'm going to say like 20 to 25-year cycle. So like a quarter century cycle. When you say it like that, it's painful. But I believe that we are all going through like a 20 to 25-year cycle. And what I mean by that is whatever you were experiencing in your life about 20 to 25 years ago, give or take, right now, we are seeing a resurgence, right? A resurgence of those lessons. It is coming to the surface, and you are going deeper and you are uncovering more and more layers of that transformation you had in your life. Now, I don't know about you, Claudia, and I think you probably had a transformation in your life probably at around that time. And this is what's happening to you again. You are in the midst of a metamorphosis. You are becoming a whole new version of yourself. You are done with the old version of you. You are setting new boundaries. You are setting new sights on what you want your future to look like. And you are now doing what's best for you. And you are doing your best to love yourself through this process. And that's really where the change happens. That is where the transformation happens. That is where the evolution happens. It is taking care of yourself first. And I know you well enough to know that you are a very loving and giving person. You are a caregiver. You are always putting others in front of yourself. And I hope that this means that you are starting to shift that and finally starting to put yourself first. I know that circumstances in your life have opened up so that you can now be a more of a priority in your life, of course, because our children grow up and we evolve and things change in our life. But you are the most important person in your life. And so you are the first one that needs to be taken care of. And I believe that you are heading in that direction. And the more you do that, the quicker your transformation will be. And it will take you from this life that you know now, and it's going to be even better and much, much better than you can ever imagine. Because when you put yourself first and make yourself a priority, you are also letting God know that you are putting yourself as a priority. You are loving yourself, right? And just like we who are parents, when we look at our children, we want our children to love themselves, right? We want our children to do the right thing by them. We want them to take care of themselves. We want them to be kind and considerate and compassionate human beings, of course, but we want them to be happy. What does every parent say? I just want you to be happy, right? And then everything we do is to try and manufacture happiness for them, right? Like, do this because I know that you'll feel good, and then that will bring happiness, right? And we try and help our children as much as we can. But really, at the end of the day, and it's true, and as cheesy as it sounds, all we want is our children's happiness. Well, I think all God wants is for us to be happy. But you have to do it. You have to show it. How are you happy? Show the universe what makes you happy by doing what makes you happy. And the more you do the things that make you happy, the happier you'll be. And that's exactly the direction you're moving in. And I hope you continue. So that's your card. You are in the midst of great, great change, Clara, and I think you just need to keep going. So even if you're having rough times, and this goes for anybody in the midst of all transformation, everybody experiences challenges, right? And those challenges are there as an opportunity for you to exercise your new way of life, your new tools, your new strategies, right? We all have those. We all have things we've learned along the way, especially, as I said, if you're looking and taking into consideration that we're all in a 20, 25-year cycle, imagine how much you've changed in 20 to 25 years. I mean, like, I moved to New York 22 years ago, right? I was 25. And so, that's a long time. A lot of things have happened. I have evolved as a person. I've evolved as a woman. I've evolved, in the way I look at things. My perspective has changed and shifted and expanded, right, for all of us. And with that new information and with that expansion and with that new knowledge, we have an opportunity to make changes in the world, beginning with ourselves. Because that's where the change happens. Everybody's like, you got to go and do this and do that. Yes, we all need to do for others. We all need to show up for the collective. But if you're not showing up for yourself, then then it's useless. It's useless for you to say, you take care of yourself, and you're not taking care of yourself, right? And if we're spewing out all this stuff about what needs to be done and how it should be done, but we're not taking the advice or it's not working for us, well, then stop spewing it. Just live it. Live it. It's hard. Yes. How can it be easier? It's challenging, yes. How can it be less challenging? How can it suck less? That's your job, is figuring out how to find the gentler path, the easier path, the happier path. And that's really up to you. What is your GPS word, right? Your GPS word is abundance. Find the abundant path. If your GPS word is peace, find the peaceful path, right? If your GPS word is spacious, what is the spacious path? You create the path that you want by your actions, by what you say yes to, and what you say no to. So then you figure out what that is. And that's for everyone, not just for Claudia, but for you too. I love you. Okay. Mom, you're next. Okay, I think that's it. But I will pull your card, Mom, because why not? Because you come and show up and you support me every day and you deserve a card pull too. All right, give me one sec. Okay, Meredith, you want a card too? I'll go late today. I don't mind. Just need to clean my house. So I'll procrastinate and pull cards instead. I mean, really, it's so much more fun. You're welcome, Clara. All right, this one's for you. What is your message? I'm laughing because it's like your message is coming through in my head going, wah, wah, which makes sense. I inherited my migraines from my mother. I mean, I don't know if I inherited them from her, but she had them. I can look forward to, what is it? Like blood pressure pills, if blood pressure pills takes care of it. I don't know. Anyway, Mom, this is for you. I hope you enjoy. There we go. Number 40. Why you say? Oh, you're sorry because I inherited my. Yeah, but I also inherited your effervescent and bubbly personality. So you win some, you lose some. Okay, Mom, here's your card. Number 47. Okay, that's my age. Look at that, and it's called Sacred Pool. What is the sacred pool? Well, the sacred pool is like the pool where we draw everything from. You know how we do our me first morning ritual, and we call in like the sunlight, and we ask for we envision that the earth, just like that life force energy comes up through the earth. That's the sacred pool. It's the connection. It's the life force energy. That is where all creation happens, and we have access to that pool. Right? We have access to everything, access to all the information, access to the solutions. We have access to the support. We just don't realize that we have access to it, right? Because it doesn't look like what we're used to. That it's not like someone says, "Hey, all your support is here." I mean, they do, right? If you have religious practices or spiritual practices, there are plenty of religious and spiritual practices that are going to say, "Hey, here's how you can tap into God's power." Right? Here's how you can tap into the support of, your angels or Mary or Jesus or, whoever you believe in, or the ascended masters or Allah or whoever it is that you connect to spiritually or religiously. We have been given, tools and strategies to connect with that power. I think that the only thing is that we have been kind of taught that power is above us. That power is more than us. And it is. It's more than us individually as parts. But that power also lives within us. We have that power. We don't just have access to that power. We are that power. We are not just children of God. We are God. We are that life force energy that lives in everything. We are all connected. So it's really hard for us to get past the ego. It's really hard for us to get past the human part of us because we've experienced trauma and we've experienced so many things that, physical evidence that has taught us through our senses, right? Through our eyes, through our ears, through our nose, through our mouth, right? Through touch. We've been taught what is reality, right? And the hard facts of life, right? But there's this whole other energetic reality that is just as real, right? Because if it wasn't real, then it couldn't be measured by science, right? It couldn't, scientists would literally have no clue, right? And they don't have a clue about a lot of what happens in space. And that's not, like, I'm a supporter of science. I'm a supporter of science and magic together, right? I believe that the integration of science and spirituality is the solution that we are all looking for, right? Is like, bringing those two things together, because they are together, because they're the same. Okay, God is science. Okay, science is God, right? Spirit is God, right? It's all the same thing. So the reason I say this to you is because just because you don't have evidence-based facts to show you that your thoughts have power, that your intentions have power, that you can get what you want by setting your intentions and following through with the steps that deep inside are connected to spirit, that are connected to that voice. You may not see evidence of that directly, but I'm telling you, and I promise you that that's exactly what happens. And you know that when you really double down on your faith, that your prayers are answered. You've had that experience in your life. Everybody's had an experience where they're like, I don't know how this happened, but something happened. And I definitely felt God protecting me, or my angels protecting me. And we usually talk about it with like bad things that happen where we're like, oh my God, I almost got hit by a car. Oh my God, my angel saved me, right? But on a day-to-day basis, our angels are not just there to like pull us out of danger in last minute. Our angels, our guides, God is there to give us the support that we need through the tough stuff. And we are given this tough stuff not because we don't deserve the good stuff, but because sometimes you have to go through the shit to get to the good stuff. So trust that the good stuff is coming. Trust that you are deserving of all of the blessings that you've already had. And it's easy for us to get lost in the things that you lose along the way, the things that didn't quite turn out the way we wanted. And what becomes more of a practice, which I recommend that you do for yourself, is acknowledging all of the things that have worked out for you, despite the challenges, despite the trauma, and despite, evidence otherwise, right? Beautiful things happen every day, even in a world where terrible things happen. What that tells me is that both things are possible. Both paths are possible. And so even though you may not get to choose your path directly or know exactly what's coming down the path for you, you always have a choice of how you look at it. And you can choose to look at life as a miracle, as a process, as an experiment, and know that it is an experience that you're meant to have, and all of it is good, and all of it is for your highest and greatest good. Or you can choose to look at life and choose all the evidence that proves that life sucks, that people are terrible, that the world is out to get you, that no one can be trusted. You can find the evidence of that. And regardless of whether one is true over the other, it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is how you live your life and how you perceive that life, because that is going to shift your contribution to life, right? If you think that life sucks and everybody's out to get you, you're going to live your life very differently than if you think that the world is a beautiful and abundant place and miraculous and magical things can happen at any time. You're going to live two very different lives. So I encourage you, my mom, of course, but also you, anybody else who's watching, is that live the life that believes in miracles. Live the life that believes in magic. Live the life that believes that we are all here and divinely guided and supported and protected, and that we are all part of a very, very big picture that is, the end game, the grand scheme is for the highest and greatest healing for all. So I hope that's helpful. Okay, was there someone else? I think Mom, you might have been the last, right? I didn't have anybody else. Anyone else still watching? Meredith, you're watching, but I'm not sure if you have time for a card. So let me know if you'd like a card and you're still watching. I'll pull it before I finish up. You're welcome, Mom. All right. Let's see. I'm just going to shuffle. And you know what, Meredith? I am going to pull one for you. I don't have my... here we go. Okay. Last one. So I'll pull the last one from Meredith, just because. And then we'll wrap it up. And that will be the end of the Fun Friday. Woo! All right. I love Fun Fridays. It's just kind of fun. That's why I showed up, even with my head pounding. I know, it's like, how can your head be pounding? You look like in a really good mood. Because I choose to believe that even with my head pounding, for some reason, it is for my highest and greatest good. It is not pretty, but I know it's for my highest and greatest good. I think. I don't know. Either that or my period's coming because I get a 3-day migraine before my period comes through. So, whatever. Biology, spirituality, it's all the same shit. All right, Meredith. Oh, guys, I'm killing myself today. I'm cracking myself up. All right, here we go. Meredith, this one's for you. Gentle gardener. Look at this. Okay, so here's a number 2. Now, the number 2, especially because this is the gentle gardener, number 2 is a number that always sort of indicates like it takes two, it's two. And so it's you and the universe, right? It's not you by yourself. You are never, 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 never alone. Even if you feel alone, you are not alone because your soul is connected to everything, right? So you're never alone, even though it feels it. Your loneliness is an illusion, right? It is an illusion that that comes from your disconnection, and that's okay. But that's not for you, Meredith, because it's not that you're feeling alone. This is just to let you know that you are not on your own in planting the seeds of what you want your life to become. And it says gentle gardener here. Now, it did come upside down, so it tells me maybe that you are, I want to say impatient, but I feel impatient is a little harsh. But maybe you're a little anxious about things unfolding. Maybe you're not quite sure if they are going to unfold because, again, I heard a quote from Abraham Hicks once and I loved it. And it's like, what is preventing us from what is what's stopping us from what could be. That was basically, it wasn't the exact quote, but that's basically it. So what is, like what we see around us is stopping us from achieving what could be, because we see what is and we take that as truth. We take that as absolute truth, right? It's like, well, this is my life and I guess this is what it is, right? People are always trying to give you like a reality check think, money doesn't fall off trees, reality check, relationships aren't easy, whatever, like stick your reality check up a place that doesn't shine. Okay, that's what I have to say to that. And the reason I say that is because reality is just your perception of what your reality is, and your reality and that perception of reality can shift and change at any time. That's why you can have two people talking about the exact same topic, but on different angles of that topic, and be completely against each other on that same topic because their perspectives are different, their experiences are different. They look at things from a different way. And it doesn't mean that either one of them are right or either one of them is wrong. It means that they each have their very own vision of what the right thing is. And really, it is just what is right according to their perspective. And so the reason I'm bringing that up for you is because with this gentle gardener being upside down, it feels like maybe the timing of things is feeling a little laggy. Like it's like things are not happening fast enough. But things are going to start to happen quickly. So have faith and continue to plant those seeds. Continue to nurture those seeds. Whatever it is that you're looking for. And I know that you're always sort of evolving because you're that type of person. Like you're always like looking to stretch and evolve and look at things from a new perspective. I think that, certainly as an artist, it lends itself to being that way for you. But also, I want to remind you that when you kind of like do your art, right? And especially, I want to use art as an example because what's coming to me is when we do art, what is that? We learn the rules in order for us to break them, right? Right? But we know like what we need to do. We know what works and what doesn't. And then we know when to make conscious choices. As an artist, you make conscious choices about things that maybe are against the rules, but that really work for what you're trying to create or how you're trying to express yourself. And the same thing happens with life, right? Where it's like, as long as you know what your central focus is, what your vision for your future is, and you continue to sort of, whether the seeds are planted or not, continue to plant those seeds or continue to nurture that garden. Some things are going to take a little bit longer than others, but everything in perfect divine timing. And if you can release and surrender to the timing of the universe, of the timing of, spirit, then you're going to see things unfold in such a beautiful way, in a way so much better than you could have ever imagined. Because our vision for the future completely pales in comparison to what the ultimate vision of the future is. Because we can't conceive of the possibilities. Because how could we? We have limited human brains, right? But consciousness, right? God's consciousness, the God consciousness, that is infinite, and that has a the perspective of all. And so when you set your mind to what you want, or even when you're planting your garden, right? And you say, I really want a tulip, and you plant this flower, and up comes like the most beautiful tulip you've ever seen. No matter how much you wanted like a nice tulip to grow, God's vision of that tulip is better than what you could imagine, right? And so that's what we need to do. We need to plant our seeds, we need to nurture our gardens, and then give the rest to spirit, give the rest to God, and take that out of your hands. Remove that responsibility from you. Whatever unfolds, just trust that it's going to unfold in the highest and greatest good of all, for the highest healing of everyone. Because if it's in the highest healing of everyone, you are part of everyone. It means that you will not be left behind. You will get exactly what you need out of life. And that's true for everybody, right? Do exactly what's best for you and for your family. And everything else will unfold exactly as it should for everyone. Because if we each take care of ourselves, everybody's taken care of. All right. That's my message for today. I wish you all an amazing weekend. I will be back next week. I'm here Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. EST. Don't forget to go on the Jumpstart for Change YouTube page and please subscribe and ding the notification bell, like, comment, share, all the stuff. Get the word out there because it's time that everybody puts themselves first in an energetic way so that you know exactly what you're contributing to the planet. Because if everybody contributes beautiful, clean, and clear energy, right, that they are emitting their purpose and their mission, well, everything just comes together. It just really does. All right, that's it. I love you all. See you next week. Bye.